Who's going to speak
I
first?
don't know. I was like, are you waiting for me? Are you staring me down if I do it? Is it a good
Who's
thing?
going to snap? Who's going to break first? Who's going to give in? We were having a silent staring contest.
Are they normally loud?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. Silent. You know what's funny?
Well, I don't
Staring
know.
Contests are usually pretty quiet.
They are. That was why I was confused.
Apparently you can't focus on not blinking.
I can do it better.
And talking at the same time.
I can do it better if I'm talking. See.
So we keep teasing that we're going to do something with the website for the podcast.
Yes.
Which is?
Energy is Love podcast. Can I say that? .com. Do I have to say .com?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not 2020 and people can just figure it out, but
it is .com.
Oh, well, it's definitely not the other .com.
Now I want to Google it to see what comes up.
Anyways, we keep teasing that we're going to be making some changes to the website, and we are. I've actually been brainstorming in my head about what those changes will be and what it'll look like. And so, we should probably set a timeline. What do you think?
I think that
March.
That's up to you because you are the tech guy.
March, we're going to roll out the new website.
Are you really? Okay. See, I can't do anything with that. So it's not fair for me to give a timeline or an opinion of a timeline.
Okay, baby. Okay. This is the intro for the podcast. So we're already gone too far. We've already spent way too long talking about stuff. I'm teasing. I love you. It's the energieslovepodcast.com with your hosts, Stephanie and Craig. Anything else? It's so easy for us to just get lost and keep talking like it's a full episode. But this is just the intro that we record before the episode. And because it is that, we are going to talk about Everyman. That is EVRYMAN.com. I spelled that very confusing in my head.
You got it.
Everyman.com. Coming up in February, so just a few short weeks away, they are starting their 6-week course that is basically all of their fundamentals, everything that they kind of condensed down from their, I don't even want to say their teachings, but it's basically what it is, right? It's the Everyman Fundamentals class, and it starts February 4th. You can go sign up for it. And I can't recommend it enough. They're going to have live calls every week on top of a bunch of downloadable information that you're going to be going through and going over. It's 6 weeks long. Some of the course curriculum is from checking out to checking in, taking risks and going deep. The last week is taking action and living the new paradigm. It's just a lot of information that they're going to cram into that 6 weeks. And the two people responsible for doing it are Dan Doty and Owen Marcus. Dan is one of the co-founders of Everyman, same with Owen. And they both combined have something like, I don't even know, 40 plus years of working with men on this deep emotional stuff, diving into your emotions, learning how to express, connect, slow down, all sorts of different stuff. So it's incredibly beneficial. I would highly recommend it. And if you go to our website, energieslovepodcast.com, there is a tab at the top titled Partners. Click on there. You'll see a link for Everyman. It'll take you to a description of this 6-week course and where you can sign up and all that jazz. So go do it now. Okay, baby. On today's episode, we will be discussing...
I don't even want to be funny. I'm so nervous after last time.
Last week's episode was wonderful.
It was.
It was a really good episode. And I don't even remember what it was. Oh, I just remember it was a really good episode. Here's Johnny.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. So now I'm like, I don't know.
So this week is going to be all about a Here's Susie. Stay tuned and find out what a Here's Susie is.
I can't wait to find out.
Here we go.
You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is the Love podcast.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is Love podcast.
The podcast for the universe.
The Energy is Love podcast.
I can't decide if we need to continue doing those intros before or not.
Do you like them?
I do like them, but they're a little ramshackly.
A little. Yes, they are. It's up to you. It's up to you.
Is it?
Kind of.
It's not up to us?
Well,
Do you like doing them before like that, or do you like doing them after we record?
I can go either way. Full disclosure on that. I'm more likely to participate in the intros. Sorry, I just realized I'm off. Hold on.
You're not off mic.
Is that better?
That's
I'm
good.
more likely to participate in the intros when they're before the episode, as to where there's times I end up in the hot seat, and then after the episode, I'm not talking for an intro. I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, I think
So-
that's partially why I enjoy doing them this way, because it's a lot more like, it's almost more relaxed trying to talk about whatever,
Yeah.
even though we have no idea what we're going to talk about, as opposed to then trying to go back and like, you know, re-encompass the entire conversation that we just had into a 30-second intro, and then being like, what did we talk about? Oh yeah, we talked. And then oftentimes we are very in a highly activated state
Steph
once
might be
the
crying.
episode. Steph, I might be crying. I've cried on the
Sometimes you have.
podcast before.
So it's up to you. Like, obviously, like, it's up to you. You seem to handle the intros like a champ, whether they're before or after.
No.
And I just follow along and talk too much, apparently, sometimes. So,
Well, we get lost.
I
It's
know.
like, oh wait, we haven't actually started the episode. This is just the intro to the episode.
Then you're like, do you have anything else to add? Mm-mm. I don't know.
thought of something that we have to inform the listeners of.
What's that?
I don't think it's a new word, meaning
Oh.
I'm sure that it is a word that has been said before and
Is
that
it a
we've
verb?
probably heard before.
Or grease. Grease is the word. That's what it is. Is it grease?
It's definitely not grease.
Do you hear it?
No.
Grease is the word.
What is that from?
Grease?
The show?
movie? The musical? Grease
No.
is the word? No?
I don't remember that part.
It's the intro.
Okay.
So apparently there's not a lot of value in intros. Okay, continue.
But we came up with a new word this week that we've been having fun with, playing around with, and using in the
What was it?
context of our conversations.
I don't even know. I don't know what you're talking
You don't
about.
remember what
I
it
don't.
is?
What is it?
Wackadoos.
Oh, yep. No, that's a word. That's our. Yep. We've definitely been talking about wackadoos, which we are not.
Yeah, we are definitely not wackadoos. Do you want to tell the listeners what a wackadoo is?
I do not. I do not. I opt out of that one.
This one has no sexual undertones.
It does not, and I am not going to participate in that.
Although it totally could.
It
I think
could.
give her a good old wackadoo.
That kind of sounds violent. A
No,
little bit.
not in a sexy way.
No, it doesn't sound.
Sometimes he and or she just needs a good old wackadoo.
Still sounds kind of
It
violent.
does sound violent.
It does,
So maybe
yeah.
there isn't a
No,
sexual
I don't
undertone
think so.
to that. No, wackadoos are just crazy people. Not like legitimate wandering the streets talking to themselves crazy people. We have a completely different name for those people. No, a wackadoo is somebody. How would you describe a wackadoo?
I'm not describing a wackadoo, Craig. Quit trying to trick me into it. It's not happening. I think we move on.
We know some wackadoos.
We know some.
If you're a
we know
wackadoo-
people that think we're wackadoos,
I guarantee we do.
but we are not.
We are not. And if you are listening and you're like,
They're just stick up the butts.
everything's going up the butt with you lately. If
Oh God.
if you're listening and you're like, I don't think I'm a wackadoo, or what's a wackadoo, then you're probably not. But if you're listening and you're like, oh, I totally know what a wackadoo is, then you're probably not one either. But if you're listening and you're like highly offended, then you're probably a wackadoo. If you're like, I'm not. That's ridiculous. As you like
You're a wackadoo.
put on a tinfoil hat and go stand outside facing north and sprinkle salt at your feet and
I
sing
sprinkle
to the
salt
birds.
sometimes.
I know.
Are you
That's
saying
why
I'm a
we're
wackadoo?
sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
Sometimes
I
you're a
talk
little
bit.
wackadooey.
Wow,
I'd like to give you a little wackadooey.
that sounds violent.
Okay. So yeah, there's your new word for the day, podcast listeners.
See if you can figure out what it
Barb.
means.
Do you have a question for me, babe?
What are you doing with your wackadoo? I just made it sexual.
You did. I'm definitely playing with my wackadoo.
Oh.
Maybe that's just what masturbation is.
Oh.
What are you doing? I'm just wackadooing it.
I kind of wish that was funny. I'm sorry. You're sitting there with you just caught yourself and yanked your own head down with your headphones cord. It was
I
funny.
yanked my own head down while I
You're
was
playing with my
wackadooing.
wackadoo.
There you go. There you go. Everything comes back to sex. I
can
love
make
it.
everything sexual, apparently.
Yes, you can.
Well, questions.
I thought you had one.
You thought I had one?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I thought you had something.
You mean from my scrolling earlier?
Yeah. I thought that's what you were doing. You were like going through and being like,
Well, I don't have a question, but I had something I came across that's kind of funny, but I'm also like, how, like, that's awesome. And is there a place in Utah where you can do that?
ooh,
Okay.
what is it?
Okay. I'm going to have to actually go to the
We have
Instagram
lots of
page.
listeners in Utah. Perhaps somebody knows a place.
Somebody's going to tell me where I can get my butt rubbed. It's okay.
Oh, that's right.
Free. Okay. So I'm going to find the website, or the Instagram. Okay. It looks like now,
You can shout out the Instagram.
I'm not like, I'm not.
No. Go check it out, folks.
Well,
It is. What's the Instagram account?
It looks like it's called Cookie Wash Spa. And the picture that I'm looking at is free booty facials on Tasty Tuesdays. So hold on. Let me go to Cookie Wash Spa real fast. I don't think I follow them. I might have to.
Booty facial.
Oh, hold on. Load. Cookie Wash Spa. There we go. So this place, these women they have the spa that they do vaginal steams, which is great. They do
Describe a vaginal steam, dear.
Well, I've never actually had one, but you basically, it's like a sitz bath, only you don't sit in it. You sit above it. So the steam comes up from whatever herbs, oils, and it's supposed to help balance out your menstrual cycle. So it's supposed to help bring, I don't know, health and balance to I should do one, and maybe I'll know what I'm talking about. They look appealing, but they also look intimidating.
Yeah.
So this lady is
You could
sitting,
say that about vaginas, just in general.
it's called Moist Mondays.
Where
It's
is
a cookie
this place?
I think it's in Florida.
It's definitely not in Utah.
She's sitting on a bucket with a towel over her. So I'm like, that's kind of, I've heard of people like taking a lawn chair, like one of the plastic ones.
Yeah.
And just like cutting out a thing and putting it in the bucket. So I don't know how to do it. I can't promote it. Maybe I should look and then tell you about how my VJ steam went. But they do these like,
That's your rapper name.
my VJ steam.
Coming up next is
VJ steam. Drop a beat. So
it's some salon somewhere.
Yeah, but it sounds like I'm making fun of it, but I'm really not.
What's the booty facial?
Free. I think it's a video. So it just shows them like steaming it and then putting moisturizer and
Steam
cream.
in the butt?
It's like, do you know what a facial is?
I don't.
On a non-sexual way. So you get the different creams, oils. You're just like removing off part of it. You're just really rejuvenating the face. It can be a deep scrub that's targeted towards maybe balancing skin tone, blemishes, fine lines and wrinkles. And it's just to help your face, your skin shine and like kind of slough off the other crap and just bring out its luminescence.
Okay.
So it's that on your butt.
So is it the butt cheeks?
Yes. It's, yeah.
Well, we're talking about vaginal steams. I don't know. Maybe they're steaming assholes.
Well,
at
I
that
think it's
salon
close
as well.
enough that it also receives the benefits.
Oh, that's true.
So
it's probably a
just-
2-for-1.
I think they should really market that.
We will steam both
Free ass steam with every.
with every vaginal steam.
Oh my God, I love it. I should message them now. You're welcome, people. So it actually it looks great, honestly.
Is it somebody
So you
just
see the
rubbing a bunch
butt-
of stuff on your butt?
Well, no.
I can do that
yes,
for you.
Kind of, but they know what they're doing. They're not just like squeezing the butt for their own pleasure. There is not. It is legitimate. They are.
I don't think a booty facial is a legitimate thing, baby. I
It's
think
a totally
definite
legitimate
marketing
thing.
ploy.
And you should see the before and after. I'm like, your butt is shiny. Look at that. You have your butt is glowing. So good for this lady and her glowing
What's
ass.
the Instagram account again?
I want a glowing ass.
Your ass, trust me, your ass glows.
My
baby.
ass glows. It's a cookie wash spa.
Cookie wash spa.
Cookie wash spa.
No. I bet that's a fun
That's the
play.
handle. Cookie Wash Spa is the handle, but it looks like the business name is Vaginal Steam Spa, and they are in South Florida.
That sounds like a South Florida thing.
They do waxing. They do like masks for your like pelvic area as well. So that is shiny. So women out there know that when you are shaving and when you are waxing, that you can get some irritation, you can get some spots, you can get some like dark spots.
This is not a commercial for the spa in South Florida.
It is not a commercial for them. However, if like there's one of these in Utah, like let me know.
Do you want to start one?
I do not want to start one.
That could be our new business.
I do not want to start one. I'm okay with that.
The name of the podcast for that business is VJ Steam.
You know what? There's your free idea, people. I will go to your spa and I will talk about it on the podcast. So you should give me butt facials and steam. I should receive the benefits.
First and foremost, if you're listening to this podcast, Stephanie did not just entice people to give her a butt facial.
Oh my God. I didn't even hear that.
So if you'd like to, stop on by.
Legitimate businesses.
I'm looking for a butt facial.
No, that's not what happened. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
You're cute.
Now I'm done.
No.
I'm out.
That is interesting.
It is interesting. And their pictures are just like, yeah, I love it. I think it shouldn't be a scary thing for women to get. It is not an easy job to take care of yourself at those angles. Talk about yoga poses.
What would be the equivalent for men? I don't think a man has anything that they need steamed. A ball steam, that's not a thing. What? Can you think of anything?
Well, they can get the facials too. They can get the booty facials too.
Oh, I could get a booty facial.
You could get. I don't know. There's probably. They didn't really show any. It didn't look like men were really
imbibing.
It didn't look like that, and it didn't look like they were marketing towards men. So I imagine
the name
men
of the
can
spa
go
was
in
what?
there.
Vaginal steam spa.
It was.
Yeah, that's not a place for men.
Yeah, I think that there's some places that are just for men, and there's places that are just for women, or whatever you identify with.
Did you
like obviously if you whatever you identify with.
Do you follow JP on any social media platform?
I used to. I think I still do. I just haven't looked at his stuff for so long that he's no longer in my algorithms because I forget he exists.
So JP Sears, shout out to JP. You know who you are.
Sorry.
No, JP was on the podcast a long time ago, and we got to go see him and meet him in person. And he's a pretty
nice
cool
guy.
He is a nice guy. But he because he does a lot of.
Does he talk about vaginal steam?
He does not, but
he should.
The reason I bring it up is he recently
algorithm.
posted something about. It's a picture of him basically bent over with his ass poking up to the sun. Like, for all intents and purposes, he totally appears to be naked, but his ass is blurred out. And it's something about like sunning your asshole or something, or getting vitamin D in your asshole or something.
Oh, wow.
And it's very...
I'm going to have to find it.
Yeah, you're going to...
JP is going back in my algorithms. I forget. He is really funny.
He is funny. And oftentimes his stuff is, a satirical take on legitimate things.
I think that sun on my asshole sounds fantastic, and I'm ready for summer. Look out, neighbors.
I just wonder if that's a thing too, right? I mean, sun on our skin feels great, right?
Yeah.
And laying out and,
Do you like, it feels good. Think about it. So you think about those hidden areas.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if I need to go full,
What were you saying to me before we hit play? It was something about you'll try anything once. I said I will not.
Okay, well, we're definitely doing it.
I think we're going to sun our assholes.
We just need a sunny day.
And where are we going to do it?
I don't know. Probably in the ass.
Okay.
But you haven't heard anything about that?
No, but it sounds great.
In the group of wackadoos that you run with?
I don't know how I came across that. I don't follow that. I do not know how it came across. I think it might have been a sponsored thing.
So if you are definitely into sunning your asshole,
I don't think that's something you should knock.
You are a definite wackadoo.
Well, then I'm a wackadoo because I think I'm going to do it. It sounds fantastic.
It does, kind of.
Just think about it. It's like naked yoga in the sun.
Yeah. That would be nice. Naked yoga in the sun.
See?
That's definitely a thing.
And it is. I do follow some
naked yoga sun people.
I do. And she's pretty fantastic. So she'll do it in the ice and the water. She's pretty crazy. She's pretty awesome.
Do you want to shout out her Instagram account?
Naked Yoga Girl.
Is that all it is?
Fudge.
This episode is going to be all of who we follow on social media.
Apparently. I don't follow Cookie Wash Spa.
I wouldn't either.
Okay, let's see. Where is she? Naked yoga.
I was going to look and see when that episode we did with JP.
Where is it? That's not it. You do that. Yoga naked.
Years ago.
Where the hell?
Episode. Here we go. Oh. Thanks for listening, folks.
Yeah.
Tune in next week to see Stephanie and I play on our phones.
Sorry.
And look for things while trying to record a podcast. I know he was on this podcast because I remember very well speaking to him. Oh my goodness.
There's another girl that's naked yoga girl with a U. I haven't followed her. She shows her face. The other one, she looks like she mimics. Actually, these poses look the exact. I don't know that. Don't go to that one. I'm not sure if that one's a hack or not.
Episode 74, JP Sears. Episode 74, 74. Baby, you don't have to find it.
I want to find it so bad.
Just so you
I
can
want to
shout her
give
out.
a real one because her site is just beautiful.
You mean her account?
Her account is beautiful. Yeah, she's like a neat person. And she's like brave and putting herself out there, and that she's trying to keep her anonymity, but she's also trying to bring, her body is flawless. So, body positivity with that. She's flawless, but she's bringing like awareness on our bodies aren't something to be ashamed of, regardless if we have her fast, just perfect yoga body or wherever we are. Nudity isn't a sinful thing. It isn't a shameful thing.
Do you think we should, do you think things like nudity should be allowed on social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook?
I think, I guess I'm, God, I have a lot on mine. I can't find it right now. I'm sad. I will have to look it up. I want to give her a real.
We can throw it in the show notes if you really want.
If I can find it. Well, I kind of do because it's a beautiful site and she's a neat person. I think that there's parts of nudity that, yes, should be allowed. And by nudity, I don't mean
pornography.
I don't mean pornography, but I'm trying to find a way to describe it because there are people that say just seeing a butt is porn.
Yeah.
And it's not. Now, if you see a butt that's like doing something else.
Yeah, getting a facial.
Oh my God.
That might be porn.
Okay. There's sexual positions, there's sexual acts that can take place with a person, another person, yourself, or objects that I don't think should just be all over social media. I don't think there's anything wrong with it for mature minds and like old enough, right? But I don't want our kids to stumble across that. Now, if it's something that they want to look at when they're older, when they have more of an understanding and not a misconception of what the abuse that can happen with that, then I don't care if they look at it when they're older. But I think there's still some like respecting the body and learning what bodies are like. People, there's a person behind that body. It's not an object for your disposal,
Yeah.
Are you getting lost?
I'm
You're
not
not. You're like all over.
I was going to sneeze.
Oh, you're going to sneeze.
But it's going away.
But as far as just a body being a body and maybe showing a pose, a yoga pose or art or just the fact that a body is there, I don't know. I think I'm okay with it, but then I think about
the argument
all the
is,
boobs and all the penises that can be thrown at our
naked
kids
yoga
from
girl
seeing.
just be dressed. She can do the same thing. She doesn't need to be naked, right? That's the argument.
She's bringing forth, from my understanding of what it feels like to me.
Yeah,
now, I could be wrong. My perspective is that she is trying to take the shame out of the body, out of the nudity, and about, women are supposed to be covered up. Women aren't allowed to be, they're a slut if they're out there. Which, slut's such a terrible thing. It's not. But they get degraded so harshly from any kind of self-expression or exposure. And so she's like, from what I feel from that, she's taking that away. Yeah, she can do naked clothed.
I don't think you can do that.
She can do yoga clothed, but that's not her message. She's not saying, yes, yoga is healthy. Yes, it's beneficial for your body and your mind and all of these things. That's not her main message. That is what she's doing, and that's the platform. And if she was, unfortunately, it's the fact that she's so attractive in that she can get more flow, which is sad. She should be able to get just as much no matter what she looks like, but she's using it.
Flow or followers?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Don't
I didn't know if you
criticize
were
me
like,
because I'm a woman.
I didn't know if you
I'm
were
in a
talking
podcast naked.
I'm ready for that.
Yeah, well, you're the. Anyways, don't pull me off of my train of thought with her.
Sorry.
Because it's an important conversation.
I think it's very silly how things are regulated on these silly social media platforms that we think are so important in society today.
Yeah.
Not just with nudity, but Facebook has recently started. Instagram's the same thing because they're the same fucking company. But
Yeah. Sneaky.
where they will make you click in order to see a photo. So they'll like blur out the photo.
Oh my God. Because
And-
the content. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the content is too much. And if you don't want to look, then you don't have to. And it's straight up that fucking Black Mirror episode.
It is. Have you ever clicked on any of those?
Yeah.
Okay. I
click on almost all of them.
I don't click on almost all of them. How many of them are like, have you ever seen like a dog? Not like hurt, just a video of a dog, like catching a ball?
No.
I have.
See, I think sometimes they screw up. And I think that people also sometimes have figured out how to work the system and do stuff and make it appear that it's one of those photos. That's definitely a thing.
Okay, that's pretty obvious, but I did not pick up on that.
So
Never
that's,
mind.
when you click on one and it's something silly like a dog playing with a ball, that's somebody that is smart and figured out how to make that look like that's what happened.
Depending on the header or who it's from, depends on whether or not I'll click on it. If it looks like it's going to be something like really messed up, I won't click on it.
I
It
saw
doesn't
one
draw me.
recently.
I'm like, nope, thank you for blurs.
That was blurred out and you had to click on it. And it was a real person. Like it wasn't some, marketing ploy or tactic or anything like that. It was a real person who had gotten bit by a dog. And their pictures were of the dog bite and the subsequent, stitches to fix the dog bite.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why are we blurring that out? Why is that something that people don't feel safe to look at?
Why are they blurring that out? But that one that you looked at that had like a fish going through a kid's neck, that was fine?
Yeah.
That should have been a warning label right there.
See? It's so weird. It's so subjective and it's so silly. And that's part of I'm like the whole conversations that we've had about safe spaces and this generation and personal points of privilege and all that other kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that I'm just like, really? Like if you don't want to see stuff, then don't look at stuff. Or
I know, but that's an adult perspective too. The other side of the argument, adults are more like able to make those choices and filter through what they see as to where a child is not. See, I can flip both sides of the argument.
Yeah, I get it. But I feel like you and I grew up looking at stuff and we're just fine. I almost got that out with a straight face.
Well, we did not have all the internet porn that is now a thing. That was something that we came to in our
adulthood, thank God. Thank goodness we get to.
I'm so glad we could experience all that in our lifetime.
So I had some real legitimate questions for you. I was
Okay.
thinking about this before we recorded. And yesterday you
Did
watched.
you
Go
just
ahead.
illegitimize? What's the word?
Delegitimize?
Delegitimize,
That's
whatever.
definitely
Did you
not the
just like ruin the legitimacy of my topics? You just said you had some real questions for me. So you're like, stupid booty facials and naked yoga. That's not important.
No, those are important things.
What my question
I'm
is,
very
or when you're going to
glad
make
that-
me a sandwich.
Very glad that I now know what a booty facial is.
Your life's a little better, admit it.
I
There's women
want-
out there, and if anybody's in Florida, you know they're going to go check them out.
I want your booty facial. In my mind, a booty facial is your butt on my face.
I'm sure that's a thing. This
That
is
is
not
a
what I
thing.
was talking about, though.
And that, in my mind, is something that I would definitely sign up for.
Well, we should go to Florida, and then I'll get me a nice booty facial, and then I will put my booty on your facial. Okay. What was your questions?
Yesterday you watched a bunch of videos. You had a day full of videos for the bar stuff.
Yes.
And I
access
realized,
consciousness.
yeah,
Mhm. And you
I don't
realized-
think you've ever talked about that on the
I
podcast.
haven't.
So
And you should have.
should have what? Ran this past you?
You should have.
Well, we can edit this out for real. Like for real, if you want to pause real quick and be like, yeah, I don't want to talk about all this stuff right now. Totally cool.
I don't know what to say. Anyways, what was your questions, and then we'll decide.
I wanted you to describe, because I was kind of half listening as you were listening to all of those videos yesterday.
Yeah.
And even just the bars themselves, access consciousness itself as a modality, as an energy thing. I honestly don't know what it is. You've done it for me. You've done it on me. I've experienced it, but I don't think I could describe what it is or explain what it is. So I was wondering if you wanted to do that.
I don't think I have enough ability to really describe it very much right now. I can give you just little. I'm super on the spot. I don't like this because you're asking me to. I don't fucking like talking about that.
Oh, well,
by
we
myself.
definitely don't have
it's
to.
so on the spot of like, what can you do here? What is something I don't. I just want to leave it at. I definitely want to talk about access consciousness in the bars, but I don't feel like this is the time to do it. So I don't want to right now, but I will.
That's fine. Totally understandable. I had another fun question for you.
Okay.
I was thinking about, I don't know why this popped into my head this morning,
Yeah.
but I think about this sometimes just myself. But if you could pick a time in history, like any point in history that man was on this planet, when would you pick to choose to live?
To live?
And why? Keeping in mind that, of course, this is the best time because we're here and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that
blah,
was
blah,
going to be
blah.
my answer. So
Yeah.
no, that doesn't work.
No, like, yeah, that's all just, accepted. But separate from that, when would you want to live
When would I want to live?
on this planet? What point in time do you think would be like the coolest that you would want to live?
I think about cool things about before civilization was such a civilization and being like, it didn't matter where you were like in nature always. I think that would be fascinating. And then I think about the hardships that would come with that and how dependent.
But think about that part
I am.
where those wouldn't really be hardships because you wouldn't have
The
something to
knowledge that I
compare
have
it to.
now too. Okay. So I kind of like the thought of that. And then it's like, it keeps going back to, yeah, but women's rights. Like, I want more. I want to know what the future is going to look like, but maybe I don't. I don't really want to like hit a time that I like our rights, but I also think so living where everything was nature and it was land and animals and connection and you needed people like, but not with a, like before, I don't know. I like that thought. And then I also think the 60s and the 70s would have been groovy, baby.
You think that would have been a fun time?
But I don't know. It depends on how you lived in that time. Like,
You think you would have been a total flower child hippie?
I don't know. I guess it depends on who your parents are. So I like to think that I would have had that. I mean, I don't know. It would be fun to have lived like that. But then I think that's also the time of, all our boys were being drafted and like, that's not a good time.
No.
So I don't know how to hit the times and think that would be the time without realizing, oh, that was also shitty. I don't know how to do that without the yeah, but portion right now.
Well, there's always going to be a yeah,
I
but
know.
portion.
So I don't know.
Oh, I think, like for me, I want to be, same thing. I want that time period where we lived off the land in small tribes and super connected to nature. And like in my mind,
Sounds
it's always
beautiful, doesn't it?
Yeah. But it's always like, I want to be a Native American. I want to be like on this continent, whatever, like 500 years ago or 600, 700, 800 years ago.
Yeah.
When, like you had your small tribe that you lived and life was all about surviving. And it sounds harsh and it sounds hard, but if we don't have the context of, modern day comforts and things like that, it would just be the norm.
Think how beautiful everything would still be.
Right.
What
this continent looked like 800 years ago. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
History books because they got it right.
Yeah, but I think that would be cool.
That was sarcasm.
I know. I got it, babe.
Yeah. I think there would be
I wouldn't want to do the 60s and 70s.
No, not even a little bit.
No, I have no desire at all to like live in any other part of like in the last 100 years. There's not a time period where I'm like, oh yeah, take me back to that time period.
Yeah.
No way. Like with the exception of maybe like the 20s, like go back 100 years right now.
Why?
Because that seems like
The Depression? You want to go back to the
Depression was
That's
the 30s.
Was it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, but we'll pretend that I'm sure and that I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, all right.
But like flappers and dancing and like Great Gatsby era. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it seems like such a monetized banking garbage. Like, again, I go to that like, no, women had zero. Of course. Oh, I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. My just about came out of my mouth. I'm going to say it just for, I'm like, of course, that's where the man wants to go, where the woman has no rights and they control everything. Sounds pretty great, huh? Sorry about that.
Oh, my goodness. No, in all honesty, I think for me, it would be that time period where you had to get on your horse and you had to go hunt and you had to, go drink from the river. How nice would it be to be able to drink from rivers?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm with you with that. That was my first choice. And, well, that's where we line up. So maybe we can meet there. I'm not going to hang out with you in the 20s and you're not going to hang out with me in the 60s and 70s.
Oh,
so.
baby, I will hang out with you in every generation.
There you go. I'm an asshole again. Sorry.
Good luck finding me because I'm not hanging out with you.
No, that's not true.
I had a really weird dream last night.
What was it?
I was installing pods somewhere and it was a couple. So like a husband and wife that were opening up their float center. And in the process of installing the pod, it became apparent like during the process that the two of them wanted to sleep with me.
Oh.
And for some reason, we all decided to float together. So it was much bigger than the actual tank. And so we were like in the water and the guy was like coming on to me and kept trying to like.
Not in the salt water.
No.
Abrasion.
But it was very bizarro. And they weren't like, they were like an older couple.
Yeah.
Like maybe late 50s or something like that. So it was like, super bizarre, weird.
So if they were younger, would you have been into it?
No, not with, shut up. But it was very strange. And it was a very weird dream because it was like, they weren't overtly being like, hey, Craig, we totally want to have a threesome with you. But the guy was like, they would like talk back and forth, whisper as they were kind of like looking at me, or you could tell.
That's intimidating.
You could tell that they had like this whole other conversation that was going on between the two of them. And then he would like try to sidle up next to me. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is so weird. What? And in my mind, I didn't even think of like, okay, I'm in the like, quote unquote, the float tank with the two of them. That's weird enough. That part seemed normal. The part that was weird.
It was a dream.
Yeah. The part that was weird was that it was very strange.
Yeah. Wasn't feeling it. Do you think it's because I rubbed magnesium on you last night?
Yeah. I think that's definitely it. I think the magnesium rub you put on my knee gave me psychedelic weird sex dreams.
No, you went to a magnesium, like, you took it in.
I did not. There was no taking in of anything, but it was weird.
I wonder if it was a premonition.
Definitely not.
You have to let me know if you get in a tank with a couple.
Oh my God. No, I will not be doing that.
I know you wouldn't.
How funny is that, though?
Very professional on your. It's kind of funny.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know. What do you feel? What did it make you feel?
Uncomfortable.
Okay.
Strange. Also, like, why is this happening? Like, I didn't understand why this was happening. And then also, like, frustrated. I'm like, am I going to have to, like, because, like I said, they didn't overtly come out and say anything. Mm-hmm. It was total just, like, under the surface, It's like they were slowly inching their hand towards my hand, wanting to hold my hand. And I kept slowly inching my hand away, kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And then I kept being like, at some point, I'm going to have to be like, no, I'm not holding your hand, kind of thing.
At some point, you're going to have to be like, no, I'm not holding your hand.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a sexual dream at all.
Uh-oh. Let's hear it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You might not want to.
I'm sure I don't, because now you've made me panic.
Well, no, you don't need to panic. I think as soon as I say it, you're going to be like, yeah, but I don't know that you want others to hear it.
The last dream you interpreted for me was really spot on.
Well, it's my moonlighting. Definitely.
It's your side gig. Not just a booty facialer, but a dream interpreter. You can do all of those things at Vaginal Steam Spa, located in South Florida.
Yeah, I don't think you can do it. I don't know. There may be a dream interpretation. I'm sure you could ask.
Yeah, what you got, babe?
So you're talking about, I don't know. I'm nervous now.
I'll edit it out if it's bad.
No, you won't. You are going out working on a build. Things are feeling more uncomfortable. You're finding yourself in situations that you don't want to be in and feeling like your space is getting more and more small, and you're in situations and kind of like forcing yourself being forced to do things that you're not really wanting to do, and you're just like trying to ease your way out of it. And it's going to get to a point where you're going to have to say, no, I don't want to. I think it's work. I think
Well, what do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's probably what it is. I'd really like it if it was just silliness of an old couple trying to have a threesome with me.
And it could be. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. That's just a thought. But I'm also, I'm not removed from the situation. I'm also knowing that struggles come up and that there's hardships with your line of work, and that you're getting ready to go out again, and communication is,
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Could be.
So I could just be imprinting my own beliefs onto that, and it could have nothing to do with your dream. That's also a possibility.
Dreams are so funny.
That.
Yeah. I listened
Maybe
to...
you just really want to have a threesome with an old couple.
I definitely do not want to have a threesome with an old couple. Especially like the guy was like wrinkly and like old. And
what happens when we are wrinkly and old?
Well, I'm fine when we're wrinkly and old. We'll be hot, but this guy was not. I don't know.
Was it
Depends on the old couple.
Yeah? See?
No, I listened to Rainn Wilson. You know who that is?
Yes.
Bears
it's
Beats Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. And he was on Dax's podcast.
Yeah.
And he was talking about this 10-day silent retreat that he went on.
Oh, wow.
Really liked it. It was really hard, really challenging, all this stuff. But one of the things he talked about was the mind, right? When you don't have the opportunity to be distracted by everyday things and by just like stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I just smacked myself in the head. When you don't have the opportunity to be distracted with stuff, then everything comes up.
Yeah.
All the stuff comes back up for you to process and fill. And so that's what came up for him a lot was, stuff from his childhood and all sorts of different things. And there wasn't anywhere to like, quote unquote, run from it. You couldn't distract yourself with anything. You just kind of had to sit there and think about it. And in the process of thinking about it, feeling and all that other kind of stuff that takes place. And he said that he had some of the most crazy, vivid dreams during that time period as well that were very, very like clear. They weren't confusing or like hard to interpret. It was like really clear of like, oh, okay, this is why that dream is coming up. This is what that thing means.
Wow.
And all this kind of stuff. And like every now and then I think about some sort of like, I don't want to go to, like, I don't want to go to some 10-day retreat center. I don't want to go on some silent, do you know what I mean? That seems like so pretentious and silly. And
you want to go in the mountains by yourself?
I do.
10 days?
I just want to go somewhere.
I think that would be the way to do it.
By
I think
myself
those are called Vision Quests,
for
by the
10
way.
days. And I think that like the idea of being somewhere by myself for 10 days, which seems like a really long time.
It does. I think you should start with 2 and then go from there. I'm sorry. Go.
And not talking. So I wouldn't talk. I don't know. I just think that sounds so scary and fascinating and wonderful. maybe that's what I need to do this year.
Maybe.
What do you think?
I think it sounds incredible and terrifying at the same time. I think, you do one and I do one. I'm probably not going to do 10 days though.
You could do 10 days.
I don't know. I'm also like...
Would you want to go to like a retreat thing?
Oh, no, I would just go over there. We have mountains
in
right
our
there.
backyard?
No, we have mountains right there.
Yeah.
I would go up, but I would try and find a place that was... See, that's the thing is I'm not going to be able to go to like... There's still that part of me that's like mountain lions.
There are mountain lions in those mountains.
And that's fucking scary. I get scared.
Yeah.
Like, ah! Like, no. So I want to be where I can't hear other people, though, and all the dirt bikes and all the people running through the canyon. So I'd have to go.
Yeah, and you can't run into people hiking and stuff because
Yeah.
then you'd have to talk to them.
I wouldn't. I would just have a sign that says, I'm on a silent retreat. So shut up.
God, that would not be a wackadoo
And then I would look
thing.
at them like this. Do you know why? Because then they would be scared of me and they'd fucking leave. They'd be like, that bitch is crazy. And you'd be like, that's right.
I could totally see you walking around with a sign and then people
totally
approach
do
and
it.
you start holding out your sign.
But I would look at them with this look. So they would be afraid and they would leave and they wouldn't like, I got to protect myself. If you don't have the physical body strength, then you got to look crazy. You got to like make them think that you're going to eat them and not in a fun way. Just like, I'm just going to eat your bones. So they leave. So I would have to pull that out. But then seriously, like, I think, okay, I'd be fine. Bugs. I'm going to take a tent. I'm going to have a tent. I want to see the stars, but I don't want to see the bugs.
Yeah.
So I would sun my asshole a lot.
Sun your asshole?
I would sun my asshole. Hopefully
I thought
not.
you said sell.
Wouldn't do that.
I'm like, baby, we can just go buy a tent. You don't need to sell your asshole.
Sell my
for
asshole
one.
and get a tent. So that's not going to happen. But the thing that scares me is, mountain lions is like predators, and I wouldn't have a way to defend myself. I don't feel like I would be able to defend myself.
From a
I would
mountain lion?
take, what's his name? What's the guy we were watching last night?
Ranella?
Yeah.
Steve Ranella.
I would be like, hey. But I'd probably be like, hey. I don't know. I would try. But that intimidates me.
Yeah, you're not going to get attacked by a mountain lion.
You don't know. I'm going to get some smells going on up there. They're going to think food.
Yeah, but we're not the type of food that they're after.
Are you sure? What if
I'm
they're
not sure. I
hungry?
don't know
See?
anything.
You don't fucking know.
I don't.
I don't want to get eaten by a mountain lion.
Do you think you could do 10 days? Because think about the logistics of like food and water and all that kind of jazz. Because you can't really carry in 10 days worth of water.
Why not?
Because that's a lot.
But the steri pins don't make me feel like really like they're steri.
Yeah, you don't have to use a steri pin. We could get, God damn it.
That scared me.
That was loud.
Yeah.
We could get a decent water filter thing. We could do iodine tablets. There's lots of different ways to sterilize
do
drinking
iodine
water.
tablets. I feel like that's a shitstorm, literally, that I'm not ready to partake in the wild.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't want to do iodine tablets. I would, you know what we can do? Is you can just go up there with me and we can have separate camps.
Okay.
Now, hear me out.
I'm listening.
Hear me out. And then, oh, God, no. Fuck. See, that would make me feel safe, but then that would ruin it for you. I was like, then, sunrise, we can meet at the river and fill our water and off we go.
Sun our assholes together.
Sun our assholes. Wait, we can have sex without talking. This could be the greatest idea ever. We could meet, get water, get a little, and then off we go.
Suddenly, this is no longer a 10-day silent retreat.
This is a 3-year silent retreat.
This is a 10-day fuck fest in the mountains.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Let's just sign up for that. Okay, no. I'm thinking of a way that I can get water up there and not have to filter it is what I'm trying to do,
Yeah,
really.
there's just no way because it's too much to carry.
Okay. Yeah, I know. And then I'm thinking those, because I'm not a hunter, I don't know how to kill animals and eat them. And I couldn't. And if the event that I got to the stuff where I killed an animal, I'm probably going to feel horrible. I'm not going to know how to do that. I don't know how to skin or gut an animal.
You don't need to kill animals.
I know. I'm just
there's
saying.
other forms of food.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm going to have to take like MREs.
No.
Those campy meals.
Yeah. Dehydrated.
They're the same thing.
Or not dehydrated, freeze-dried.
Yeah.
Yeah, backpacking meals.
And then, do you know what I do? It's going to be, I'm one of those people that think if there's only this much to eat, I'm going to get super hungry. I am not good at rationing. I will go through 10 days in like 2 hours and be like, well, now what?
We have to eat it all now. It's going to go bad.
I get hungry. It was like when we smoked and I knew that we were going to quit or the pack was running low and there was no more. Suddenly, I needed a cigarette like continuously.
Yeah.
So that's how I am with food. Like, this is all I have. Suddenly, I'm starving.
I think it would be interesting. What's some easy way for us to ease into that? We could do like we could start off with something simple, like, both of us could take turns doing just an overnight, at like a campground, kind of, where we didn't have to, quote unquote, backpack in. You could just drive, and then that way you could have all your supplies right there, and then go spend,
Yeah, but that's too accessible to people. I want to be farther away.
There's some places up in them hills that we could go.
Don't talk about it like that. That sounds like a horror movie.
And there's some places up there with eyes.
Don't. I'm never going there again now. Great. Yeah, there's some easing in. I'd like to think that like maybe 3 days. Right? Or 5. But then there's the part of my brain that says I would probably be tapped in at that point and ready to do it and not want to come down.
Yeah.
So
think how nice it would be to get to wherever you're going and kind of set up camp and then just be able to spend however long you're going to be there barefoot.
See?
And just be able to walk around.
Could I take books? Can you take books on a silent retreat?
Well, considering this is ours, we can probably do whatever we want.
Well, no, hear me out. I don't want to like...
Journal, yes.
Journal, okay. Maybe journal.
But
Journal's
I don't think a book would probably... In my mind, what I want, you get to do whatever you want on yours. I want to see what happens to this noggin of mine when there's nothing.
See, that's why I want to take a book. Because I think what happens when I get bored? Like, I'm going to need a distraction. I don't want to be in my thoughts. I'm going to need an escape. So can I take some books?
Nope. You got to let it all come up. And then you got to sit there with it.
No. I don't know. Shit. I think we might be planning our summer. Fuck. I'm going to need a lot of SPF and baby wipes and first aid kit.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a weapon.
Why?
Because mountain lions.
Do you want to take I've got a big knife.
No, I want something that I'm not going to hurt myself with.
You want a gun?
Kind of.
You think a gun's going to protect you from a mountain lion?
Yes, I go boom.
Mountain lions are fucking slick.
Okay, don't. Okay. That's fucking like, hello. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Do you think that one through?
Soft, beautiful cats that are nice to pet and cuddly.
I'm scared right now thinking one's under the bed. That's what you just did. Like, I do not feel safe.
Yeah, I've never heard of anybody getting attacked by a mountain lion in those mountains.
Oh, I was like, hello, but in those mountains. Yeah. Okay.
So if we do have some up there, which I think we do.
Because we live in a community where everybody has guns.
And my guess is there's only a handful up there. And they keep to themselves. They're not going to be really interested in you.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of a day or two. But when they feel like I've moved home, what if I move right into their territory? And they're like, bitch isn't camping. All right, who's the alpha? It isn't you. And I'm up there like, hey, hey.
Take a plastic bag, just like you do with Harley.
Oh, my God. Maybe.
Just shake a plastic bag at the...
That actually might work. You think about
so
the
funny,
sound of a big garbage bag?
Yeah.
I'm going to take those leaf bags.
I can just picture you. So you're naked sunning your asshole.
Well, yes.
And the hikers come up over the ridge and they see you. And then suddenly they see this woman who's naked sunning her asshole. And she gets up suddenly and picks up a large garbage bag and shakes it above her head while she's screaming, running around naked.
Yes.
And they can't see what she's apparently trying to scare away. All they see is this naked asshole sunning woman shaking a garbage bag.
So that'll protect me from the humans.
Yes, very much so. Imagine if you came across that, what would you do? You'd back away slowly like it was a grizzly bear.
I wouldn't. I'd be like, where's the lion? I've got you. Hey.
You're cute.
I would help.
Nah.
You're right. I would probably back away.
Should we do some form of this at some point this year?
I'm kind of feeling it. We'll
Yeah.
see. I don't know what we'll feel in the summer, but right now I'm like, God damn it. That's emotion. That's some momentum that just happened.
We're going to have to do it separately.
I know.
If we go together, we'll just sit there and talk.
I think a 10-day fuck fest in the mountain sounds pretty fantastic.
Well, we can do
and
that.
Can you imagine what we would come up with? 10 days without phones, without books, when we could just sit there and like the connection that would happen with
Create
you and
together.
I.
Yeah. We can do that too.
That sounds beautiful too.
Yeah. We can definitely do that.
Would we get bored though?
Think about that. That's always your biggest fear. You're like, if we spend a lot of time together without anything else, are we going to get bored? And I'm like, hello? At what point do you realize, no? That's what you thought when we went to the yurt last.
I was afraid
Because we had like 3 days there.
I was afraid that you were going to get bored.
And you're like, oh my God, we're going to get bored. We have to come up with stuff to do. I'm like, no. We can trip on mushrooms and hang out naked and smoke. That sounds like a fucking treat.
The shoe got ruined, so we couldn't even go hiking. We were in the yurt.
I forgot
our hiking
that
plans.
the elderly couple in my dream,
Were they mushroomers?
they were totally going to give me mushrooms.
Okay, that's...
Like they were, I'm trying to remember the context
If somebody's
of it.
trying to give you drugs because they're trying to have sex with you, that is not a safe environment.
It wasn't giving me drugs so that they could have sex with me. It was like a parting gift.
There's Stevie.
Oh, good morning,
Good morning,
Stevie.
child. 11:30. Are you okay? You need a shower? Go shower.
Yeah.
Clean up the bathroom when you're done for me.
You're okay,
I
kiddo.
love you.
Go ahead.
I know you did. Good morning. Holy fuck, how much did she hear?
Who cares?
I kind of care. Think about what we were saying.
Anyways, in the dream, thanks for interrupting us, 18-year-old daughter now.
No.
It wasn't in exchange for sex. They were giving me mushrooms. It was like a thank you gift for
Having
setting up their
sex?
dream. He said something along the lines of like, whatever the old lady's name was, I don't remember it, but he said her name and I knew who he was talking about. Like so-and-so old lady was thinking that she should give you these mushrooms or we should give you these mushrooms. And I'm like, yeah, totally. If you guys have shrooms and you don't want them, give them to me. I'll take them. So what do you say about that, dream interpreter?
I think you're trying to numb the pain with drugs. I think we need some shrooms.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, we should wrap up since she's going to turn the shower on upstairs and interrupt the podcast like she
Yeah.
just did. Any closing thoughts, baby?
I don't know. This one was weird. This one was kind of all over, so I don't even know what just happened. This is why we do intros at the beginning, because how
Yes.
would you talk about this?
Could you imagine doing an intro now?
No.
You're about to listen to, and then there'd just be like silence for 20 minutes. I'm sorry, what are we doing? What's going on?
I think if I had more sunshine in my asshole, I would be able to form thoughts. I love your face.
God, I wish
I love your
I wish
face.
that's the name of the episode.
Sunshine in my asshole.
More
Sunshine, more.
more sunshine in your asshole.
Right. It has seen the light of day
Yes.
on multiple occasions.
No, it needs more.
It is like, oh, look, the sun. Yay.
Give me more light. It's always so dark here. If you think about it from that perspective of your poor asshole hiding in the dark all the time,
I'm sorry.
and now it just
I'm always sitting on it. Like, it is squished and in the dark. It gets the raw end of the meal. It doesn't
baby.
get the fun part. I'm sorry. You are always the last to the
Yeah.
party.
I mean, from day one, it's just dealing with shit.
Oh my God. Poor
Its whole life.
Okay. I'm going to total steam my asshole and give it some love. I'm going to put it. Never mind. I caught that just in time. We're done. Sunshine is all like, all right.
Podcast over. I feel like you and I grew up looking at stuff and we're just fine. I almost got that out with a straight face.
Abrasion, abrasion, abrasion. Stupid booty facials and naked yoga. That's not important. Grease is the word.
What is that from?
Grease?
If you're listening and you're like highly offended, then you're probably a wackadoo.